So, yesterday we did a bit of a deep dive and I came to a conclusion. And I concluded that when you take everything into consideration, and that is the pros and the cons in terms of what kind of makes sense, what doesn't make sense, what has a multitude of factors that adds weight to it. And we came to a conclusion, well, we didn't, I did, that we were looking at trafficking. This area is rife when it comes to trafficking. There are huge issues in the US as a whole, but in certain states it's almost pandemic-like. That's how bad it is. We looked at numbers in excess of 25,000 children for sexual purposes being trafficked per annum. And that was out of between Mexico, the Philippines, the US. 25,000 per year that are just child trafficking for sexual gratification of others. And, you know, they're sick figures. And look, we also touched on the fact that around 30 people had even been arrested shortly after Summer's disappearance for being connected in these trafficking rings. So look, what does that mean? How can we now I and some of you have decided, look, it's trafficking. So how did it actually work on that actual day? And how does a trafficking scenario fit into our timeline? And are there any elements of what we know that further support it? So look, I know that there is mixed feelings about Jodie Sue. And look, I don't have any feelings about her whatsoever, either positive or negative, because I just don't know her and I've not spent enough time to listen and understand. But through another channel, which was Michelle Walks, who I do have some time for, but I'm sure that she will agree that she doesn't agree with me so much, and I don't always agree with her, but I do respect some of the things she put out. And look, she touched on something that I'd also picked up on, and this was reference some additional information that Jodie Sue had said about what she'd heard that day. And we already know that she has stated that she had heard a scream. Some people believe it, some people don't. But the other sounds that she stated were reference to vehicles on and off the property. Now, she had claimed that she had seen a red vehicle enter the property. And this was obviously before Summer had gone missing. We believe it was sometime around 4:15, 4:30. And look, so we know that it's been stated in the past that this case has been connected to a red vehicle. Now, on its own, you don't think much of it, but she then goes on to say that sometime after, but again, before Summer was actually reported missing, she had heard the suburban vehicle, which is within the Wells property, and their fleet of vehicles had gone up the driveway at some pace. And let's say it, you know, it must have been going at some pace to actually be her. They are a loud vehicle, but look, for her to hear it and know it's the Suburban, I know they get used to sounds, and I can quite believe that. I could listen to a car go by, even here, and be pretty sure of what make it is. But look, so she's heard this vehicle go up the drive at some rate of knots. And it's after this period of time that she then starts hearing the shouts for Summer. So, why would you go looking for, say you're looking for your child, you've panicked, they're not about, you fly off in the car looking, then you come back and start shouting around your property and the 11 acres of land that you've got and the numerous hiding places and places that you can get in, get under, get round. Why would you then come back and start shouting? Surely your first point of call, say we're following her timeline, she's gone into the house, remember? She's, Summer, no answer. She's then thought, that's odd, because I normally get an answer back. Summer. Isn't it at that point you would then start to shout and be more vocal on your property. Summer, where are you? Where are you? Summer, come, come. Why would you leave the property to look, then come back to the property to then start shouting? Now I'm going to take you back to another element of this case. Now, when this all happened, can some of you remember that Don, he had gone to the shed. He'd gone to the shed and he'd looked in there. And a lot of people thought, why did he go to the shed? That was really, it was such a random piece of information that you thought, well, why did he look in there? That must have had some kind of attachment to his mind that made him go there. And I thought about this, and I thought, do you know what happens when you lose something? When you lose something, there is generally a place, say it's like a car keys, and you've got a hook and your car keys go missing. When you ask someone to help you look for your car keys, what do they automatically say? Normally they'll say, well, have you checked the hook? And you think, well, of course I've checked the hook, that's where they normally are. Even if you lose something, say you lost your dog, and your dog is normally in an area where it sits, it lays, it plays, you will likely go back to it and check it again. Or if you ask someone to help you, the first place they'll go is go and check that place. And you'll be like, well, I obviously checked there. That's the first place that I looked. And it got me thinking, did Don go to that shed because in his subconscious mind, in the event of Summer being missing, that is normally where she would be? In this scenario that he was playing out in his head, was there a connection to the shed? And I didn't rhyme that on purpose, that was a mistake. But can you see what I'm getting at? Because in Don's mind right now, he has got a lot more information than what we have. And if we're looking down the route of trafficking your child, now you're going to have them thoughts and they're going to start rattling around in your head. Would it be enough for you to think, I'm going to look where this normally takes place and see whether there's something out of place, something that, do you know what I mean? Because that's what I think happened here. I think the truck that was coming into the premises, the red truck, was someone who was arranged to come and spend some time with Summer. I reckon that Grandis was asleep, the boys were busy playing, Candace was busy on her phone, she had uploaded posts which Navalus True Crime, he had looked at on his channel in a live the other day, and she was posting on Facebook. So she was there, she was in the house, and she was busy. So you've got Grandis sleeping, you've got the boys busy, fixated on what they're doing, and you've got Candace tied up. Not literally tied up, that's disgusting, but tied up on a phone. And then you've got Summer with a third party. Candace comes out to look for Summer. Summer's gone. She freaks out because she thinks, hold on, what's going on? The truck's gone, Summer's gone. She jumps in a truck, flies up out the road to see whether she can see the red truck. Can't find the red truck. Panics. Understands that people are now going to start asking. Grandis is going to be in there. She could wake up. So she comes back in and starts calling Summer. Summer's missing, can't find Summer anywhere. Summer, 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 and that's when they start shouting. She then calls Don, panics, and explains what has happened, or her version of events. And what else supports this? We also see that Don himself had stated previously in an interview that Candace wouldn't do anything to harm her children. I believe what he meant by that was to directly do something. And that could be disputed, refuted, but he goes on to say that what she did was get involved in friends that she perhaps shouldn't have done. But we all do that. I don't, and I certainly wouldn't have had children, but that's what he's saying, that she has people around her that are involved in something that could potentially lead to issues, because he's connecting the dots in his head. Now, I know a lot of you went over to Justice for All and saw Jose on the live. I'm not going to touch any of that out of respect for Justice for All, because they did the work and kudos to him for doing it. So all of you who want to see more of that, go over there, because you're not going to see it here. But I'm going to make one comment. Even though he came across as a fantastic guy in certain places, and he was able to do justice to the memory of Summer herself and bring her to life with his memories of her. Do not forget who he is. Do not forget what he is connected to. Bad people can also have a nice side, and he may not be connected to this individual scenario, but mark my words about it, he was certainly involved in the bigger picture and would have been something that gave them access to that world. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. But this is what I'm saying. I believe that this was a trafficking situation. Someone was removed from the premises. Whether something went wrong, they panicked and took her, I don't know. But that's what I believe happened. She was taken by somebody in the red truck. And then Candace tried to go off the premises to see whether she could find the truck. She hasn't. She's come back, and there we are. And that's where we are up to this point. Let me know what you think below, and I shall catch you all in the next one.